So I had mixed feelings about Stree 2. Important disclaimer, I didn't expect to like the first three as much as I did. I didn't have very high hopes of a Bollywood horror comedy film, and the last sort of Bollywoodish horror film that I had liked was the very excellent Tumbad, which had coincidentally come out the same year. But this film, Stree 2, caught me off guard by how it presented an subversion of the usual conversation around women and agency by presenting an interesting question. What if a ghost exclusively harassed men and forced them to undergo the same fears of stepping out that women had? Not very subtle, but that was part of the charm. Stree 2, full name Stree 2 Sarkate Ka Atank, mostly continues this kind of messaging, but with all the subtlety of a sledgehammer and some more. But before I get into all of this and make you think that I disliked the film, which, spoiler alert, I mostly didn't, let me tell you about what I liked. Stree 2 carries the same will make your middle-class dad laugh uproariously sense of humor that the first film did, helped in no small part by great performances by actors like Rajkumar Rao, Pankaj Tripathi, Apar Shakti Khurana, among others. Shraddha Kapoor also stands out as the serious man, actually woman, among a cast of clowns, and it's great actually. In Stree 2, the small town of Chanderi is attacked by yet another ghost, the dreaded Sarkata, aka the headless ghost. This town never seems to catch a break. But unlike the Stree ghost of the first film, this ghost exclusively hunts women. And not just any women. Women that the ghost thinks are too progressive. And as if that wasn't explicit enough about the movie's themes, at one point, Pankaj Tripathi's character calls the ghost a patriarchal spirit. Thanks for the clarification, movie. The first half of the film holds up better than the second half, which is where the cracks start to show. It largely follows the same plot beats as the first film, substituting the Sarkata for the spirit and women as victims rather than men. The movie's plot involves the Scooby-Doo gang getting back together to beat the Sarkata, whose big plan is apparently spiriting away progressive women, getting men together into a big patriarchal army who literally lock in women to keep them away from public spaces. Look, I'm not saying the messaging isn't important and that the movie wasn't fun. It is and it was. But the thing is, everything that the movie is telling us, it already did once, in Stree 1, and slightly better, I would argue. Here, the filmmakers are terrified that the audience won't get the point, at one point literally showing women breaking open the locks in their rooms to march out and take over public spaces. And how the movie defines progressive is also worth noting. Any woman shown smoking, drinking, or in general being too Western, or should we say not Indian enough, are immediately picked up and spirited away by the spirit, no pun intended. But at the same time, it does feel like the movie is sort of watering down its own message and getting a little too preachy about it in a sort of eye-rolly type of way. And that's not even getting into the franchiseification of it. Halfway through the film, Jana, played by Abhishek Banerjee, shows up accompanied by a random wolf. If you've seen Bhedia, you know what's happening. If you haven't, you're completely out of the loop, and the film spends precious little time dwelling on why there is a wolf until it shows up towards the end as Varun Dhawan instead. Yes, the Marvelification of Bollywood is finally here. Stree, Stree 2, Bhedia, and a few other films are a part of the larger Maddox supernatural universe, and Varun Dhawan plays the titular character in Bhedia. Here, he shows up to assist the Stree 2 Scooby-Doo gang to defeat the Sarkata and save the day. Woohoo! Leaving the hall after the after-credits scene and the one mid-credits item song and the second after-credits item song, this is where it was getting ludicrous by the way, I left with mixed feelings. Because it was fun. Do I wish that the writing was a little bit more subtle and they showed a few more nuanced topics? Sure. Did I laugh alongside my dad on all the cringiest of jokes? Yes. Yes, I did. And here's the crux of my mixed feelings. I'm happy that popular films like Stree 2 are addressing issues of gender equality head on, especially when we know the power of pop culture and especially of Bollywood. At the same time, movies with feminist messaging don't really deserve to be morality plays and don't need gun to your head kind of messaging about how women deserve the same rights as men. Stree 2 has done really well, and at this point, a sequel is basically guaranteed. With the kind of draw that this franchisee has, I hope that the next film in the series can dive a little deeper into the nuanced topics that they have already touched twice upon. That's the hope anyway from those of us at Friday Feminist Reviews.